Yeah.
do you have what are your bare essentials? Like I guess like what are like the 5 plugins like you couldn't work without?
Oh man, that's a great question. Fat Filter Pro Q3, I just love it. You can do any kind of shape with that. Um, I love, man, the Fat Filter stuff. The Pro L2 is really good. You
Yeah,
could adjust the look ahead time on that, and it has attack and release on there. And yeah, just SSL. I have a Soft Tube Console One 9K that I use as well, and just basic R comp. To be honest, I love that. It works really well. It's quick. It's relatively easy, and it does a thing. So um, I have a lot of boutique plugins like Plugin Alliance and things like that. And if I feel like a record needs a different kind of color, I kind of look around and say, well, what else do I have? And I'm a stickler for reverb. I love a whole set of reverbs. PSP, EMT reverb is really good. Uh,
nice. I actually love Manny's reverb, the Waves
oh
man.
yeah,
That
I use that a lot. I use that a
that
lot
one
as
is
well.
dope. It's surprisingly good. It's like 'cause when you see like the brand name like all in one plugins, you're like I don't know, but it's so good. Like the hall and there's like that space version. It's like I don't even know. It's like sort of like a room reverb, but it's not.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I mean, they worked really hard on that. Like Manny wouldn't put his name on something that he wasn't happy with, and that took a long time to make because they're basically distilling his mix process in plugin form, and that's another reason why the EQ doesn't have, I believe, it doesn't have a graphic interface because he's not really looking at the screen. He's literally just turning the knob and feeling the frequencies, feeling the record. So that's why a lot of those
Cool.
plugins don't have visual feedback because it's
Mm.
just the plugins are forcing you to listen.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and it's a great plugin. It's one of my go-to reverbs. I would say like that and the Valhalla. I'm like those are like I could probably make
oh,
all my records with just those two.
Vintage Verb is amazing, and also
Yeah.
another company that I'm sponsored with is Baby Audio. Are really good. They have a set of tools. They have something called Spaced Out, which is a incredible like reverb and delay sequencer. Has a step sequencer for the delays. Has a randomizing function. It's really amazing. I mean, check out Baby Audio stuff. I mean,
Baby Audio. Yeah. Oh,
yeah, they
I'll
have
pop a link in it for sure
Super
in the show
VHS
notes.
is amazing. So all their stuff is really good. They're an incredible company, and shout outs to them.
Nice. Love it. Do you have any practices to stay fresh and creative, while you're mixing?
Yeah, I'm big on meditation. I've been meditating since I was 7, so I start off
Whoa.
my day with 30 minutes of meditation, either silent or guided meditation, and that helps rein me in and focus for the day, especially when I'm mixing fresh in the morning. There's no noise, and I big proponent on people taking time to do self-care and meditating and do things to help their mental health space, because that's going to help you stay calm and stay fresh creatively, because if you're not stressed out, you're able to think clearly.
Yeah.
We're humans conditioned by stress. The news could
Yeah.
stress us out. Our lives could stress us out.
Yeah.
And when you're stressed out, when you're being creative, you kind of are a little bit more rigid, and you're kind of more angst. So if you could release that before you work, then that could really help with creativity.
Yeah, I love that. I feel like it's a matter of time before I start meditating. It's just, like the life has gotten so intense, especially this past year. It's just like at a certain point, like it seems like something that's going to just end up happening for me personally.
Yeah. And my father, he passed away, but when looking back at, he was having me and my sister like meditate, and I always kind of like, why do I have to sit here, my legs crossed, and like, focus on breathing, you know?
Wow.
And now that I look back at it, I'm like, that was probably one of the most amazing gifts that he's given us, was the knowledge of meditation that early. Stillness, the art of stillness, the art of
Wow.
breathing and being in basically, being in your thoughts and being in your space and being in a sense of calm, because everything is chaotic. Every day we're hearing something different. With COVID, people stay at home orders, people losing their jobs. I mean, we're in an artist field where our careers and our professions have hurt immensely. There's working musicians who are no longer working.
Yeah.
There's orchestra musicians who can't perform in any halls anymore. There's DJs who can't perform at clubs. There's there's artists who can't sing on stage. That's very, very difficult. There's recording engineers who can't record, because they can't have too many people in the studio. So everyone's home and there's a high stress level, and meditating can help at least calm some of that. It doesn't solve it, but with repeated daily meditation, you start to build up some kind of fortitude for stress.
Yeah. That's cool, man. I'm gonna look a little bit deeper into it. I know there's like the Waking Up app, and there's all these other kinds of cool apps that are worth checking out. So yeah. And you mentioned John Castelli, and I've heard he has a podcast as well with Matt Rad, and they talk about meditation a lot, and I'm intrigued. So
they're big proponents of the meditation thing too. It's just a good way to recalibrate and just give that time to yourself so that you could take on the day.
Yeah.
Because when you think about it, we're not really by ourselves that much. We may be by ourselves, but we're giving our attention to a lot of things, whether it be social media or your family, or, you say you have kids. Like, there's only so much allotted time for you to focus on you. So that gives you that time to do that, so that you could be your best self and spend quality time.
Yeah. Awesome. Love it. Let's jump into the sauce segment. So you sent me a track by Rachel Platten called Soldiers. So let's jump into it. We'll have a quick listen to about 90 seconds of it, and we'll talk about what went into that mix. And yeah. Sound cool?
Awesome. Sound good.
At the end of the road, we're all soldiers on our own, trying to find our way back home. And at the end of the day, nothing matters anyway, just the love that we have made. So let's let go of our mistakes. We've all got hearts that easily break. No matter how the light may fade, we'll carry on. It's how it raised. We might fall, but we won't break. Yeah, we won't break. No. I think we're all just trying our best. We work so hard that we forget how to give ourselves forgiveness. So let's all hold each other close, 'cause there's so much we can't control, but we don't have to feel alone. So let's be bold and let's be brave. Let's take a minute to bow and pray. No matter how the light may fade.
Awesome, dude. The track sounds amazing. Love the vocal tone. I like those little backing vocals, and obviously like the orchestration. Yeah, tell me a bit about that track.
Yeah, that track is Rachel Platten's basically her comeback single. She's very well known for Fight Song, and
right. She was on the Song Exploder also. Like, I think that's how I found out.
Yeah.
Maybe a bunch of years back. Yeah.
Incredible artist, and my client and good friend Nick Lee produced it with Josh Way, and they called me and then they said, "Hey, we got this Rachel Platten song. We would love for you to mix it." And me mixing it, Nick's producer mix was really, really good, right? They had a lot of elements already in there, and my thing was, it's super dynamic and it's spatial. How do we just make everything just bigger, wider, and deeper? And that's a mix that I basically used a lot of harmonics and harmonically mixed that record using a lot of saturation tools, thing called True Iron, 1073 preamp emulations that helped give it the space and the separation that I wanted. I wanted more separation in between the elements, and it a lot of it was that, doing a lot of harmonic distortion very subtly on elements to give it that width and that depth. Because if you have a record that's very, very good, you start thinking, what's the 5%? And that's when you start really thinking about how to change the record nuance wise, but still keep that feel and that tact, keep everything intact.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the best mixes I've done are like, there's not really very much to do and you don't want to do harm. So you just kind of like just do a few micro moves and like the right reverb or whatever it is, and then you're kind of done,
Yeah, it's the right reverbs and the right EQing. Just doing that subtle EQing.
Yeah, those subtle things.
But it helps a huge bunch because that record was a CBS promo and it was premiered on the Academy Country Music Awards, like with Taylor Swift. So like. I'm watching TV like the day after, a few days after the mix, like it was premiered all over CBS. Like,
oh my God.
And they had this huge, kind of campaign for it, and all their CBS shows was integrated into the commercial with the song, and friends were texting me congratulations. It was fun. It was really good.
Wow, cool. That must have been like a really badass moment for you.
Yeah, it was also a moment to like hear your mix. Literally, like you're mixing it in the same place, and then you're seeing it on TV a few days later.
Yeah, that's wild.
And, yeah.
Did you get to meet her, or was it?
No, I didn't get to meet her yet. But I was in contact with everyone in the email chain, managers, producers, and that's another thing when you get records like that. Everyone's opinion matters, and you want to make everyone happy. So it's always understanding it, and me and my producer Nick Lee, we work really, really well together. And we also share the same manager. So our manager is the same Max Cho, who also co-hosts my podcast.
Oh, cool.
But we're all like kind of like a little family. And like Nick is just an incredible producer. I mean, he signed under Scooter Braun and Atlas. Brilliant. I mean, he's Juilliard trained musician. So the intricate details of what he does is incredible. So I'm always happy to be involved.
Yeah, it's great to have a great relationship with a producer and like be the mixer and just that synergy of like, and just knowing how each other works and the communication is so important. Yeah,
and knowing the role, knowing that the producer could lean on the mixer and not feel like they're doing everything, and the mixer is there to help, and producer could produce more. They could work on the next song. They don't have to think about the nuance so much. We're kind of helping them to not think about every little thing that they have to think about, because they're thinking about the most important parts: the music, the arrangement, the vocal performance, the tuning. They already have enough to think about. So like,
right.
When I send mixes back to producers, I'm always cognizant of how much work they put in already, and kind of you just gotta make people happy and make them feel good. And the more you know about someone, the easier it is to kind of do that.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a relationship industry. Like, we have all the sound better and all the other stuff, but like, it's better if you just know a person because you trust them, and that you build a relationship and you continue to have a working relationship over time.
I always give clients phone calls, and we talk about the record and what they need, and it's good to hear their voice, because then you could understand what they want. You could have a conversation about life and really know whose music you're working with, because I know some people probably don't do that as much. They just get a record and mix it, and next record mix it. But we're dealing with people at the end of the day. That's corely what we're doing. So gotta make those people happy.
Wait, so let's talk just a bit more about the mix. So what did you do to her vocal? Like, how did you make it so pristine? It's not harsh.
Q, Pro Q Filter 3. go in there and just take a little bit on dynamic mode, 3.5